Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to our first Aussie movie of 2023 of our regular monthly movies of 2023. This is Two Drink Cinema, two brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
G'day.
I am more than 2 drinks in.
Samesies.
Behind the curtain, this is our 3rd episode in a row we've recorded.
Yep.
And just for reasons. And so this is drink number 6 of 2. This will
Three,
be by the end of
each.
this. Yep.
Maths. 3 plus 3 is 6.
We are doing a girl steals money from her father and moves to Sydney for an arranged marriage.
Yep.
If you got that was Muriel's wedding,
Well
ding
done.
ding, 2 points to Porpoise Spit for you.
Yep.
This
This cocktail.
cocktail is blood red.
It's
We should
red.
have done this for Army Hammer
We should have done this
last
for
week.
Nosferatu. Look, she drinks an orgasm in the movie.
Yes.
She doesn't have one in the movie. And then... Oh, does she?
Rachel Griffiths does. She comes so hard she can't walk.
Yeah. God. But it has cream in it. And as we discussed, we are not a fan of alcohol with dairy.
No, we are not.
So I've made up a cocktail.
Oh, you made this up?
It's a variation on another cocktail.
Okay.
But with little twigs here and there based on what you can buy at the local liquor land.
This is called?
It's called a Muriel Heslop.
What's in it?
It has cherry brandy liqueur,
Yep.
vodka,
Yep.
Cointreau,
Okay.
and pine orange juice.
Tropical, like Porpoise Spit.
Tropical, yeah.
Cherry,
I
because
don't-
she still has her cherry at the end of the movie.
And
presumably.
why not vodka?
Why not?
So good luck.
The quantities will come up on the screen or on the socials at Two Drink Cinema.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh. It's
Well, my sore throat will go away soon,
yeah,
I think.
it's definitely got a cough medicine
Oh, that's the
element to it.
It's drinking Robitussin. Oh.
I think
Oh, nah.
If you
sorry.
make it again-
Apologies.
just take out the cherry. Vodka,
That's half
Cointreau,
the thing.
vodka, Cointreau, pine orange would have been
That's
good.
boring.
Or we could have had, what did I have last night at the
It's
pub?
a twist
That
on a
blue
dancing queen. A sea breeze.
One. Yeah, that's very tropical.
That's like a 1.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink that again. I might not even drink that during this episode.
A 1 for the cocktail. Apologies, listeners, if you made that and drinked that. Apologies, but if you liked it, you're welcome. Because people have differing tastes.
Let us know if you did like it.
And differing tastes we'll see at the end of the show with Google reviews.
Yes. Oh, yes. All right. How alcoholic was the movie? There were lots of drinks at the wedding, presumably lots of 4X stubbies
Yeah.
at the wedding.
And some bubbles. Well, not
Bubbles?
but
Bubbles, not champagne, but
and
bubbles.
They have cocktails on the night where those friends tell her she's awful.
Yes, cocktails at the
Cocktails
island.
on the island.
She gets drunk
Go
at the
for
club
drinks.
with Rhonda.
Yep. Does she drink?
Uh,
And that's about it. I don't remember much drinking
she-
in the later half of
I
the
don't
film.
know if she drinks at her own wedding.
Do they drink when they go to a Chinese restaurant? Because that's about every 10 minutes of the
Every
movie.
time they go to a Chinese restaurant, I assume they drink. I'm going to give it a 3 for drinking,
Yeah,
alcoholicness.
I can agree with that.
So if you're new, we do the Archie Q De Niro scale for every movie that we review, and that's one that we've made up and named after our mentor, Archie Q De Niro, who may or may not be related.
Yep.
And so the A stands for alcoholic. If you would like to score the movies yourself, get in touch with us on your socials and we'll give you a little scoring card. And you can do your own scoring and contribute that.
Yeah.
If you're on the Buy Me a Coffee as a member, you get to do that before we record from now on.
Yeah.
And make your contribution to the films and the reviews.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
The R in Archie Q De Niro is representation.
Moving on.
Little racist. He does call the Japanese businessmen Chinese.
Can we get a negative score? Is that at all possible?
Nah.
Okay, because
There's no people
there
of
was
colour.
racism. Oh, your wives are probably the geishas. Oh.
Yeah.
And then the whole conversation with the South African, the coach.
Oh, are you black?
God, Mean Girls.
Oh, I've told that story about my mean girls in real life, haven't I?
Yes.
Bad South African accent too.
And the story of the... I can't even say it. The whites doing okay but then the weren't happy, and I'm like, he uses the B word. He says blacks.
Yeah.
No, not okay.
No. I think the joke is okay. The choice of words, not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think...
With the bit of blonde. You didn't like her. I'm having second thoughts. That's the accent.
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
the
with.
accent. That's not racist, though.
No,
Blonde isn't a race.
I was South African for one night.
Yeah, we've heard that story.
Okay, it was hilarious.
Go back through the archives.
When did I talk about that?
When
would that have come up?
Accents. Welsh accents,
Oh,
probably.
Welsh
We've
accents.
done lots of accents.
I've tried to, at least.
I thought...
Chook hates the Japanese. Sorry.
I actually think it's making fun of simple Australian people being racist.
Yes.
I don't think the movie is necessarily racist. I think if you wrote those jokes now, you'd write them differently.
Yeah.
And to be honest, PJ Hogan is not the best screenplay writer.
No.
So I think if you wrote them now, you'd write them better. But
Yes.
then we think about Mental, which we did last year, which is also PJ Hogan.
Yeah.
He had that whole thing with Deborah Mailman and the next door neighbour being racist. I think that's the same idea,
Yeah.
is that simple Australian people are racist and say things like, Chook hates the Japanese,
Yeah.
or your wives must be the geishas.
Yeah.
They're said by characters that we don't like and by characters that we are making fun of,
Yes. Okay.
which I think makes fun of racist jokes rather than making jokes that are racist.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Racism to
No,
give a better picture of them being a dick.
yes, it shows that these people aren't people we like. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons is that they say shit like, oh, you're Chinese. Oh, sorry, Japanese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
The representation is still a 0.
It's still a 0.
This isn't going to score
It's
well.
not a great cocktail.
It's not going to score well.
Oh,
Sometimes we've done movies that aren't great, but have had a good cocktail, and that's kind of bumped it up a bit. This one, I don't think that's going to happen.
nope. Cry. No.
You didn't cry?
Well, it wasn't. I guess it was a happy ending.
Because she moved on.
Yes, because she went and did her own thing.
Yeah. And she
And-
spoke up to her dad.
Rhonda forgave her.
The mum. Oh.
Yeah.
The poor mum who had a heart attack and she killed herself. And then explained later
Yeah.
that she did
And
kill
then
herself.
your terrible Muriel explained it.
Yeah.
What have I seen her in?
This.
No, other things. Ads.
Blue Healers.
All Saints.
Like half this cast.
Yeah.
Blue Healers.
Bill Hunter, what an asshole.
He's a great actor, though.
He is. Varley. He hasn't just recently died, but he is dead. It's... Yeah, I did not expect... I haven't seen it before this.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be as serious. I didn't expect cancer and wheelchair.
And
I didn't expect
suicide?
suicide.
No. Oh, I remembered, though. Because I think I'd seen it once or twice. Maybe only once.
Yeah.
And because when I first saw Rachel Griffiths, I was like, I thought she was in a wheelchair. And then I saw the mum standing in the kitchen looking confused.
Into the middle distance.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's right, she kills herself.
Spoilers
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure she kills herself.
It took me a while to kind of understand. I thought she was just vague and dumb and that was the joke
Yeah.
until I realised she was downtrodden.
She was the wife of an asshole who is openly having an affair coincidentally. Oh, Deirdre, what a coincidence. Ah, pull up a chair.
Oh, I thought you meant he was an arsehole and coincidentally he was having an affair. I'm like, no, the affair contributes to him being an arsehole. But it's a coincidence that she is at the Chinese restaurant as often as he is.
Even in Sydney.
Yeah, that's terrible. But does make the joke.
Cry is a 0.
Cry is a 0 because even though it's a happy ending...
There are sad moments in it, but you don't cry.
Look, I'm going to say overall...
Because it's not about family. If the happy thing was like, Dad, sort your shit out, and she was like there for her mum, maybe you would have cried.
Yeah, I would have actually.
Yeah.
You know me.
But then it's like, oh, I'm going to live in Sydney with my mate who is also obsessed with ABBA for some reason.
My nympho wheelchair-bound mate.
Who I'm pretty sure screwed the cab driver that takes her to a rehab.
Yeah. Screwed two military... That was so funny.
2 sailors.
And they come out and they're naked and she keeps seeing their dicks and squealing. And then they think because she's squealing that the guy was an asshole to her or whatever.
And he unzips the beanbag.
The beanbag explodes and then the window shattered. Then the window shattered still 2 scenes later.
Yeah.
I think...
Muriel, I can't walk. I'm like, where are we going here? This is random.
Yeah, I legitimately thought she'd been fucked so hard she couldn't walk.
But then, what if that happened whilst having sex?
Yeah. At least she could have gotten carried to the ambulance by those 2 men.
True.
Which she probably did, actually.
Yeah.
Mariel's not carrying her. Mariel and Toby.
That was his name.
Do you think she went on another date with Toby when she got back to Sydney? Because he was a nice man.
Maybe.
Do you think he was nice enough to be like, I don't care that you married an Olympic swimmer?
He did look pretty sad at the wedding.
Why would you go to that wedding?
Yep, that was my thought. But hey, he read it in the papers.
Speaking of wedding, let's go on to the fact that the groom fucked a bridesmaid in the laundry at his wedding. Chook. And
horniness. Forgot her name.
Is the Archie. Is it Sophie Lee?
Chook's
no, Sophie Lee
Chook's
married
having an affair with, what's her
Nicole.
face? Muriel saw her at in the laundry at the wedding.
Muriel saw them fucking in the laundry at the wedding.
Oh, I love Rachel Griffiths.
Is that on Seen It? That scene? Because I've seen that.
I don't think so.
I've got to say seen too many times. I've seen that scene before.
You've seen that scene on Seen It?
But I haven't seen the movie before.
You haven't seen the scene in Seen It?
No. I haven't seen the scene in the movie. Why would I have seen that scene?
Maybe it was on a 20-1 countdown of Australia's greatest movies.
Yeah, maybe. Anyone.
I don't think it is on a Seen It, because I don't remember seeing it on a Seen It.
Horniness. They fuck at the wedding, and it's not the bride.
Rachel Griffiths is a horny.
But also, the sex in the laundry, it's not even quiet.
The door's not even closed.
If you're going to sneak off and root someone...
Close the door, Chook.
If you're having an affair, sneak off quietly.
Yep.
And have sex quietly. Muriel heard them. Muriel she was then.
Yeah.
Heard them and investigated.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be able to hear them having sex in the laundry. They're horny. But also Chook's horny because he's having an affair with 2 women, Nicole and that other woman.
Rose?
But they didn't have sex. She only sucked his dick.
Yeah.
But I love at the end, and then Sophie Lee's like, so I sucked her husband's dick, and now we're friends.
They don't sleep together. She only sucks him off out of respect for me. Sophie Lee is great.
It's also such an Aussie way of saying it. She only sucks him off.
Yeah. Just because he sucked his husband's dick. You can't say that. But it's true. And I suck her husband's.
All in Rhonda's mum's lounge room.
Great.
So there's that horniness. I'm pretty sure at Chook and Sophie Lee's wedding, the photographer, when he's taking a photo, says, say sex.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, say sex.
Say sex.
Click.
Sex.
Click. No peaches. Rachel Griffiths has a threesome.
Griffiths.
That
paralyzes her.
Horny.
This man can't have sex. No, you can.
Is it from too much sex?
Too much sex. And the doctor's like, no.
Oh, you're seriously asking? Okay, no, it isn't.
4?
Because Muriel's not horny.
No, she's just horny for love. She's
just
horny to get married, not
horny
even
for
love.
a white dress. She doesn't even love the bad South African actor. Bad Australian actor, bad South African accent. He does look good in a Speedo, though.
Yep.
So
she gets horny for him as soon as she sees him, though.
Yeah. 4 for horniness. Insults. Now, this is going to come up twice, but you're terrible, Muriel. is an
It's
insult.
going to come up 3 times.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Dad is the dad is basically an asshole and insults everyone whenever he's talking to anyone.
It's emotional abuse.
The mum and the kids.
The mum, the kids.
Don't have that many kids.
Although the kids are useless.
The kids are useless. So is Muriel the third oldest? Or is she the oldest?
Isn't it
Because
the one that says your terrible
Muriel
Muriel
is oldest.
is older than Muriel?
Does it go...
Then it's the boy,
Then the boy?
then Muriel.
She's
Is there
22.
5 kids?
Yeah, then there's a younger boy and a younger girl.
They're still in school
Yeah.
because he's not telling them to get a job.
Yeah, so that's what I was like, surely you don't have any more kids after you've had Muriel. You've had 3 shit kids. Stop. For the sake of us all, please stop.
Unless it's like, when people have 2 girls and they're like, oh, I want a boy. So they have another baby,
And
but
then
then
a
it
boy.
ends up being a girl. And they're like, oh, I really want a boy. So they end up having another baby and they end up with 6 girls.
He is terrible, Perry. The kid,
he's
the son.
freaking useless.
When
They're all
the mum
useless.
goes off on him, I'm like, well done, mum. But then she killed herself.
She also
so-
sets fire to the backyard.
Yeah. That's very controlled burning.
There is so many parallels between this and Mental.
Yeah, like
To
the
the
crazy
point-
mum.
To the point where I had to look up whether or not Mental was set in Porpoise Spit.
Yes.
I'm like, has he just set this in the same town? Is this like Muriel lives up the road from Rebecca Gibney?
And is herself.
Is Rebecca Gibney singing Sound of Music in one backyard while a couple of streets away, one backyard's on fire?
Yeah.
Like, they've got the Hills Hoist, of course, but that's Australian.
Yeah. Nostalgia.
In a very traditional Queenslander, which we'll get to.
Basically, and the Friends. God.
I'd rather eat razor blades than have a drink with you. That's a good insult.
You never wear the right clothes. We don't want you hanging around with us anymore.
That's so brutal.
God.
Maybe I have seen this movie because I had a memory of that scene as well.
You've got no dignity, Muriel. You're terrible, Muriel.
You're terrible, Muriel.
I don't want you... When the funny I found funny was then at the wedding, at Muriel's wedding. Ooh.
Even though she's known by Muriel
Yeah.
when she gets married.
Yeah. She sees Rachel Griffiths and was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want you to take the bus back to Porpoise Spit. I
Yeah.
bought 2 plane
I
tickets
bought
for you.
2 plane tickets. Oh, goodness. Because she's rich now.
Everybody knows she's not right in the head.
No matter how unfortunate you are. Muriel is the most useless of the lot of them.
No, but that was her having a dig at Bill Hunter. Because at the time they thought that she'd got a good job and made a name for herself and she was off selling cosmetics to Barry
right.
Crocker.
Yeah.
Which was the peak of the, mid-90s Australia.
Well, he did sing the Neighbours theme.
Yeah, there you go. And everybody needs good neighbours. And then we're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You're so useless. And she was the most useless of the lot of them.
Was that a bit like Bill Hunter? Maybe if you stopped
Maybe you were
calling all
wrong.
the kids bullshit, then they might not be shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But they're pretty useless.
They are useless.
And at the end, Rachel Griffiths, she goes, I'm going back to Sydney. And she goes, I'm sorry, Mum, I love you, but you annoy the hell out of me. And then she turns around, and you, what a bunch of cocksuckers.
She's so good. Rhonda, Rachel Griffiths, so good.
She's great.
So insults are 3.
I was gonna go like a. Oh, okay.
Are we separate?
Separately.
How do we not know this? This is the 26th movie we've done or something on this scale.
I'm giving it a 3.5, so it's not that much of a difference.
Okay.
But
That's the I of Archie. The E of Archie is enclosure. The Queenslander is a reasonable size for a family home in Australia.
is it a reasonable size for a family of 7?
Yeah. Did PJ Hogan have a lot of siblings? Because the family in Mental,
They have about 5 kids.
They got
4 or
5 kids
don't
too.
they? Maybe.
and they share bedrooms still, even though the main girl, who I can't remember, is an adult.
When it came up and was like written by PJ Hogan, I'm like, we've done another one of his movies, but I can't remember which one. I'm like, oh, well, we've done like 2 Australian movies, and he didn't write The Castle.
Yeah.
So,
He also did My Best Friend's Wedding.
oh.
Yeah. Directed.
Well, he
I don't
loves a
think he
wedding.
wrote. Is this...
Oh, this cocktail's getting worse.
Is PJ Hogan our most reviewed director?
No.
Have a quick look at the list.
Robert Zemeckis.
Well, 3 counts as one, but we did Witches.
Witches.
I don't think we've done 3 of any director.
If we're not counting Back to the Future 1 and 2 and 3.
We've done 1 of Quentin Tarantino's then. Anyway, we'll come back to that. This is why we need a little researcher sitting at the desk over there.
Yeah.
Katie Lee offered very early on, but she was unemployed at the time, I think.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
I think PJ Hogan's our most reviewed director now, along with Robert Zemeckis.
We've only done 2 of his movies.
I don't think we've done 2. Oh, we've done 2 Spielberg,
We've done-
E.T. and West Side Story.
We've done...
Have we done any more Spielbergs?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We've done Rear Window and the Birds.
Oh, Rope is on the list of potential future.
Yeah.
That would be 3 Hitchcocks. Saboteur, Hitchcock 3.
Saboteur 3, there you go.
Well done. He's a better director than PJ Hogan too.
Yep. And
That's not subjective. That's a fact.
yeah, that's nothing. Well, it is a little bit against PJ Hogan.
Not say
but-
PJ Hogan's shit, but there are a lot of directors that aren't as good as Hitchcock.
And there's a lot of directors that are better than PJ Hogan.
Yeah.
We've done, and the most actor we've done is Christopher
Robin
Lloyd.
Williams. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Of separate movies, because we're not counting 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3, but still that's only 4 because we've...
And we're not counting Poltergeist as a Steven Spielberg directed movie?
No, it's only half directed.
Okay.
So we've done 2.5 Steven Spielbergs.
Okay.
At least. I feel like we've done other Spielbergs. We'll have a look in the break. Come back to you, listeners. Listeners, call in. No,
Yeah.
that's not how this works. It's not radio.
Call in.
What are we up to? E for Enclosure. I think it's a 3.
I was going to say a 3, but then does the flat bring it down?
Oh, it is a shit flat, and she sleeps in the lounge room.
Yeah.
Imagine having sex, your first sex, presumably, in your friend's lounge room.
Well, she was gonna, but she didn't.
No, she didn't. But
She
imagine,
was
like,
gonna.
she was gonna. Toby was gonna.
Toby was ready.
How dense is she, though? You rent a lot of movies. I'm like, are you fucking perving on you every day?
Yeah, it goes, and I love to call and go, excuse me.
Can you look
at that dry cleaners over there?
Yeah. She's got to get approval by Rhonda.
Not bad, but we can do better. Oh, fucking hell.
She did.
I've definitely seen him in something else.
He's good. I think he's a good match for
I
Muriel.
hope that in Muriel's wedding too, they get married.
Imagine
and
Muriel's
Rhonda
wedding too.
learns to walk.
Jeez. PJ Hogan could go like the Mad Max, become a really big thing if he did Muriel's wedding too, with Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths at the height they are now.
The budget would have to be a lot more.
Yeah. But I'd like to have a look at his career.
You know what they should
Because
do?
he went from Muriel's wedding,
Yeah.
right? Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths when no one knew who they are. And then they've gone on to be Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths.
Yeah.
To then My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Like
Cameron Diaz. Yeah.
at the height of Cameron Diaz.
Rupert Everett.
Yeah. To then Mental.
Yeah.
And although it was Tony Collette and Rebecca Gibney, and Rebecca Gibney is like Australian acting royalty,
Yeah.
it's still an interesting cycle.
trajectory.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Did he just get lucky with...
Well, it's not like Baz Luhrmann from Strictly... Oh, that's 2 we've done, because we did Elvis. Elvis
True.
and Strictly Ballroom.
True.
It's not like
we
you...
didn't do Elvis, did we?
Yeah,
Did we do a review of Elvis?
I think so.
I don't think we did.
We've watched
Anyway,
it.
we watched it.
Um,
The Dressmaker.
Oh, yeah, Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Liam Hemsworth.
Let's see what he's directed.
Did Liam Hemsworth sleep with Kate Winslet? I don't know. I'll watch the Miley Cyrus film clip again and find out. Yeah, it's not like Baz Luhrmann went from Strictly Ballroom, Romeo and Juliet, Moulin, like, you know, all the way up to Elvis.
The last movie he made was Mental. Or directed, sorry, was Mental.
Yeah, right. 2001?
Confessions of a Shopaholic.
2012? Oh, that's got someone in it.
Isla Fisher.
Yeah, she's Australian.
Peter Pan, but not any version that you know.
Okay.
Unconditional Love. I don't know
And
that
then
one
all the way
either.
to My Best Friend's Wedding.
My Best Friend's Wedding, Muriel's Wedding. Humpty Dumpty Man.
So,
Director as Paul Hogan. Gee, I wonder why he changed his name.
so what did he do on the set of My Best Friend's Wedding that meant he didn't go further from there, do you reckon? Like,
I
did
don't
he
know.
piss off Julia Roberts
Yeah.
or something?
Maybe he's just because he's not that good.
But my best friend's wedding I don't remember
Peter
my best
Pan.
friend's wedding being an ordinary movie.
I think it's a good movie. I remember. I don't know.
So what happened?
Why could he not make more movies?
Why did George Miller went from Mel Gibson in the desert to Happy Feet and to
Tom Hardy and
Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy. And like I said, Baz went from
Strictly Ballroom
to Moulin Rouge
with just
Austin
a
Butler.
little bit of fucking
Leo and Claire Danes in the middle. Yeah.
Fucking. Anyway, what are we
That's
on?
an interesting
Entering career trajectory.
Yeah, let's interview him on our next podcast.
So in closure, are we sticking with a 3 or do we want to
PJ Hogan, if you're listening, 2.5. PJ Hogan, if you're listening, I'll interview you.
He's probably got a Google alert for Muriel's wedding.
Any directors that are listening, I'll interview you.
Yeah, I'll interview you. Also, if we've done a movie that you've done, I'll give you tips on how you maybe could have done it better.
We already have. Just play you the recording. My
tip for this would be, does it really need to be about a wedding?
Speaking of directors getting in touch with us, if you are a director and want to get in touch with us, listen to an episode of us first.
Yeah.
This is actually just a tip for reaching out to podcasters anyway for an interview.
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast first.
We don't overanalyze movies.
No, because we had someone get in touch with us and say,
That's right.
have a new Australian movie coming out on YouTube and I'd love to chat to you about it on the podcast. And I said, great, we love Australian movies. We're super happy to support Australian directors.
Mm-hmm.
Have a listen to a couple of our episodes. Let me know if you think we're going to be a fit. Didn't hear back.
Yep.
I don't think he realised that we essentially just drink our way through taking the piss out of a movie, which I don't think is what he wanted.
Or didn't listen. Said, this is too much effort.
Yeah. So if you're going to contact a podcast, there's a million movie podcasts out there, and when we guest on other people's podcasts, I will have listened to an episode of them first. 2.5 for Enclosure.
Yep.
That was 3 tangents in one. That's Archie done. ARCHIE. Q is quotability. You're terrible, Muriel.
Your terrible Muriel is like the second most quoted thing from Australian pop culture.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Okay, I forgot about the castle.
The whole Castle movie.
Oh God! If a coworker of mine is listening, please don't tell your uncle.
After the Castle, this is the most quoted.
And then that Yellow Pages ad, Not Happy Jan.
Oh, Not Happy Jan. Yeah. Imagine,
and you know what? All the 90s. We really went downhill from there, Australian culture, didn't we?
Australian ads, certainly, because I've not seen anything nearly as good as my head went that way and even my legs went that way.
My legs went that way. There's an ad at the moment on the tennis. The pilot ad. It's actually kind of funny. And it's this guy running through the street.
Airport?
No, he's like running. He's going for a run, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hi, I'm Scott." If that's his name. And he's like, "Oh, I've always struggled with weight loss, but then I tried Pilot's weight loss program, and I've done this, blah blah blah." And then it's like, ding! And it's like, "Hi, I'm Suresh. I'm Scott's best mate, and he's done really well, and he's got a great attitude, even if he did shit himself at Year 9 camp." And then it's like, and then his wife pops up. It's like, "I'm Emily. I'm Scott's wife. He's got so much energy now to play with the kids, and he's got a great attitude, even if he did shit himself at Year 9 camp." And then, the doctor from Pilot comes up and goes, "I'm the thing, and he did this, and he got these results, even with that whole shitting himself thing." And then some former Australian cricketer comes on, who I've never heard of. It's like, "Simon Caddick, is that you?" He goes, "Yeah."
Simon Caddick was an opening batsman in our test team.
There you go. I go, I don't know Scott, but I know people who work hard, and that's Scott. Even if he did shit himself, it's so funny. I think it's really funny. And then there's a follow-on one that's like, "I'm Suresh. I know he's great, and he's got a great attitude, even if he does skip out on rounds at drinks with the boys."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, don't do this." He's like, "Everybody who's skipped out on a drink," and 20 people rock up, and there's a person with a pram. And Scott's like, "That's a baby. When would I buy a baby a drink?" It's kind of funny.
All right. Well, there's your free plug, Pilot.
Yeah.
Quotability.
So if you want to give us stuff for free,
Yeah.
I didn't even shit myself at camp.
No.
Nope.
I didn't shit myself at camp either.
No, there you go. I got a massive blood nose at a music camp once.
Oh, really?
It was gone for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to die in fucking Moe. Moe is where I die. I missed a whole choir rehearsal, and Dad was there because Dad works there. Walks in, you're right? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And then I got later in the day, at night.
Another one?
Yeah, another one.
Jeez.
And I'm still
Bit of
here to tell that story.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet. But no, and I was 17 at the time, and no 24-year-old man was trying to.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, moving on. Quotability, you're terrible, Muriel.
You're terrible, Muriel.
I wrote some other quotes that aren't as quotable as that, but they're
Yeah.
just funny. It goes, no, my life now. My life's as good as an ABBA song. My life
Your
is
life
as
should
good
be.
as Dancing Queen.
Your life should be as good as an ABBA song.
Yeah, but like a good ABBA song. Not like, I don't want my life to be as good as Voulez-Vous.
I don't want my life to be Does Your Mother Know?
If my life was as good as, well, I was going to say Waterloo, but that's about an actual war.
But that's also a good song.
But it's also peak ABBA.
What's that song? There's one like Emotion that I keep forgetting is ABBA, and it was on at karaoke the other night, and I turned to the guy that sat to me, and I was like, who sings this? And he's like, ABBA?
You're in a
As
gay
if like
bar.
I'm a terrible gay for
Yeah.
not knowing that.
Some woman told me that.
And he's like, it's the one that they sing on the beach at the Hens Night. And I was thinking he
From
meant
Mamma
ABBA,
Mia.
but he meant Mamma Mia.
I was at a after party event after the 2019 AFL Grand Final.
Oh, yeah?
And I was drinking plenty of free alcohol, but not free because you paid a lot of money for the ticket.
Yeah.
And Mum and I made friends with this random couple. And
It's unlike you and Mum to just chat to random people when you're
especially
drinking.
when we were drinking and at the football. And we were in this marquee and ABBA came on. I was like, oh, I don't like ABBA. And she's like, you're a terrible homosexual. This woman said to me, I'm like, you don't know me. I don't even remember her name. Then like weeks later, Mum and I were like, what were their names again? I'm like, fucking no idea.
No idea. It was Agnetha and Anita.
It was Anita and Bjorn. Bjorn? Benny.
At that gay pub karaoke, I feel like a terrible gay every week because someone sings something from a musical that I don't know. Like on Friday
you're just
night,
not that stream of gay. You're not a theatre gay.
someone sung a song
Or a
from
Eurovision gay.
Jekyll and Hyde, the musical,
Well, I wouldn't know that.
which I didn't know.
Yeah.
But the two guys I was sitting with didn't know either. And one turned to me and was like, what's this from? I'm like, Jekyll and Hyde. Only because this guy sings it every second
Every
week
week.
and I look it up every second week. And I still haven't seen Jekyll and Hyde. I just know that probably Anthony Warlow sung it.
Yeah, sure. Speaking of quotability,
Please.
it's funny when they
Get
see
us back on track.
The dickhead bridesmaids see Rhonda at the wedding. It's like, oh, you were so full of life. I'm not dead, Cheryl.
I'm not fucking dead, Cheryl.
And you can't stop progress.
No,
And
you
know
can't.
what I liked?
Yes.
They were driving off
Maybe.
in the taxi out of Porpoise Spit and said, you can't stop progress. I'm like, that's right. Because she's progressing.
She's progressing
How
home.
meaningful
to
and
Sydney.
deep.
He may as well have set bloody mental in Porpoise Spit.
Pretty much.
Why didn't he?
Because then it already would have been the same movie. You know what it should be? It should be Muriel's Wedding 2. But Muriel and the guy
Rhonda.
that rents too much
yeah.
movies
Toby.
had a baby. Like My Big Fat Greek Wedding is the kid, you know.
But
That kid's getting married.
Tony Collette's in it as not Muriel.
No, it's Muriel. She's the mum still.
No, Rebecca Gibney's the mum. And Tony Collette comes in and is mental.
What are you talking about?
The movie Mental.
I'm talking about Muriel's Wedding 2. I'm
Yeah,
making a movie.
You said Mental should have been Muriel's Wedding too.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you?
No,
But Tony Collette's in it as the hitchhiker.
Okay.
She is the mental.
Anyway, quotability is...
And Liev Schreiber's Australian accent is much better than that hot guy's South African.
yeah. I'm giving the quotability a 3.
I'm giving it a 2.5 purely for one quote.
Yeah, I'm giving it for one quote, but it's major quotable.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Drinking.
This is the thing. It's so quotable. I haven't seen the movie, but I know the quote. I didn't know who said the quote.
I know,
but
who
I
said
know the quote.
because I've seen her, that slob of a sister sitting in the shirt.
Yeah, okay. I've got to try and think of where I've seen these scenes before.
I reckon you've watched it before.
Yeah, maybe I blocked it from my memory.
You've just named like 15 scenes from this movie that you're like, I've seen this before, but you still think you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, well, maybe I
think you've seen
haven't.
it before.
Maybe it's just been on in the background. Drink. The D of De Niro is for whether or not the drink in the movie is a Coke or a Pepsi.
Look, if anything, it's a RC Cola. But I'm pretty sure I saw someone drinking a Pepsi on Hibiscus Island.
AC Cola from Kmart.
Right. It's LA Ice.
No, because that's not Australian.
I think someone was drinking a Pepsi, but it might have been a beer.
One.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a Coke film.
No, one.
PJ Hogan is not a Coke level director. Sorry.
Gosh.
If PJ Hogan is listening, he either doesn't want to...
He's going to come on and defend himself.
Yeah.
That's going to be our next episode.
Here's your right of reply.
PJ Hogan's reply.
PJ Hogan's right of reply episode. The most
alive?
awkward interview between...
I will interview you. You put your shit out there in an art form. It's going to get critiqued, mate.
That's the point of podcasts.
He's just living off this movie.
And Best Friends Wedding.
But like, you go, I'm PJ Hogan. I made the fifth best Australian movie of all time. Not even, probably.
Subjective.
Yep.
It's in the top 10
Well, it's
of
subjective.
icons.
People think that it's an amazing movie. Some
What's
don't.
up there? Castle, this,
Strictly Ballroom.
Strictly Ballroom.
Some people say Moulin Rouge is an Australian movie.
What's that one
Rubber
where
Proof
the
Fence.
drag queen's gone the bus? Priscilla, Queen of the
What's
Desert.
that one where the drag queens go on the bus? That's a better movie than this.
That's our trivia. That's how our trivia segment works.
Oh, what's the one?
The
with
one
drag-
where it's like the drag
But you
queen's
can't
on the
say
bus.
drag queen.
That's the
Or
one
bus.
where the guy who plays Zod in Superman goes on the bus through the desert,
With Agent Smith.
and there's a ping pong show in it at some point. It's Bill
Bill
Hunter in that
Hunter.
one too.
Oh, anyway, drink. Endurance.
Endurance. You know what didn't endure? Rachel Griffith's teeth.
Or Tony Collette's teeth.
Yeah, they've both had work done. I Googled it. I've just been watching Rachel Griffiths in Total Control.
Right.
Very different character. She plays the Prime Minister of Australia.
Oh, okay.
Which is a very different character
Is she in a
to
wheelchair?
Rhonda. No, she's not in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
She's blonde also.
She's fucking good, Rachel Griffith.
Total Control is also not directed by PJ Hogan. She's very good. She went on to be the daughter of Sally Field, which you mentioned the other
Brothers and
night, which
Sisters.
is
and the
quite
sister of Callista Flockhart.
quite a resume.
And 6 Feet Under, which I thought was Tony Collette.
Tony Collette's in that show.
She's in Pushing Daisies.
Yeah, and she's in that show with the girl from Dope Sick. About Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She's very good in that, Tony Collette.
She's the Emmy winner. She's an Oscar
Oh,
nominee.
Cozzy in top 10 Australian movies.
Oh, with Tony
Rachel
and Rachel
Griffiths and
as well.
Tony Rachel.
Yeah.
Tony Rachel.
Shut
Tony
up.
and Rachel. Barry Otto. David
Ben
Wenham.
Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn,
Colin
David Wenham. Always.
Fry,
Not Colin Frizzle.
Frizzle?
He's from Love Actually.
No, the guy that was in Water Rats.
Yeah, Colin Friesler.
Yeah, something like that.
Or am I thinking about
Jackie Weaver.
Jackie Weaver? Like,
How'd you
talk
forget
about
Jackie Weaver?
going on to great things. What a
Oh.
cast. Pamela Rabe,
We'll do that.
she's good.
We'll do that soon.
I'm so excited.
Oh, no.
Maybe we'll do that next month just because I feel like I want to watch it now. Anyway, so many tangents. This is what happens when it's our third drink. Endurance. Rachel Griffith's teeth did not endure.
Yep. Smoking in a taxi didn't endure.
Smoking in a taxi did not endure. Paying a bribe to the policeman in a slab.
Yep.
That did not endure.
That did not endure at all. Probably wasn't even right then. So,
Well, bribing police has probably never been right.
well, no. Also, cassette tapes, videos.
ABBA has endured.
checks. ABBA has endured.
Video shops, correct. They've not
Videos.
endured.
They have not.
You've rented a lot of movies. I'm like, what are you, my Apple TV algorithm?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me
That's a
what I
good
would
joke.
like?
That's a good joke. Thanks.
Okay, good.
I feel sorry for the guy that runs my Facebook algorithm because
My videos that come up are sporting
no,
things and then drag race.
yeah, the guy that runs my algorithm must be so confused because I'll stop for anything.
You reckon there's one guy running your algorithm?
That's how it works. That's what that
Mark Zuckerberg.
No, that's what that documentary showed, The Social Dilemma. That it's someone sitting with a whole lot of screens
Like the
running my
architect in The
algorithm.
Matrix.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works. Like Inside Out, the Disney Pixar movie.
Oh, okay.
Because I will stop for anything.
Yep.
In the break between the episodes, I read 3 memes about Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played it in my life.
Good.
But it keeps coming up because I keep reading them. I don't know
Yeah.
what... I actually read the memes and I go, I don't know what this is about.
All these podcasts and shit come up on my thing, and I don't listen to these podcasts, but there's videos, and so they'll come up. And then because I stopped and watched this one of two guys talking shit to each other,
Yep.
then, I'm not talking about ourselves, then the other ones of two guys talking shit to each other come up.
Yep.
Then that comedian that's in that podcast comes up as his videos. Then this video of this other comedian comes up who's a gay, funny comedian. Then this old Jewish lady lesbian comes up and my
Oh,
thing.
she's funny though.
She's funny.
Is she the one that's like, I only take ecstasy when I go to visit my family?
I think so. She's the funny one that says, do you work at a museum? He's like, yeah, it's one of the sad ones. She was like, well, okay, so it's either 9/11 or the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And then she went on this thing about how you can't compare the two. So we won't go into that.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay.
the endurance of this movie...
Fucking hell, what a tangent.
It's still watchable.
I'm not sure this style of Aussie comedy would still go.
What do you mean?
Like we talked about the racist jokes earlier.
Yeah. Oh, the whole, like, downtrodden,
Aussie battler,
boring Aussie battler thing.
simple Aussie person comedy. I don't think that's a movie thing anymore. I started watching Colin.
Maybe that's why PJ Hogan hasn't made a movie since Mental.
I started watching Colin from Accounts on Stan. It's a bit like that.
Okay.
But it's a TV series.
That show Bump as well, which is meant to be good.
Is meant to be good.
It is meant to be good. I haven't watched it.
Oh, I thought you
but
said isn't meant to be good. It's on season 3.
Yeah, it's meant to be good. And I haven't watched it, but it's always there. I'm like, maybe I'll watch it, but then I don't.
That gives me a little bit of a Looking for Ella Brandy vibe. But in a high school... Well, she's high school and she's preggers. I don't think Ella Brandy gets pregnant. No, she doesn't.
Matthew Newton kills himself.
Oh, how do they wash the blood out of the sheets?
Yeah, in a panel van. Okay, yeah.
There you go.
That was very disjointed.
Just done a little review of...
So we've had a few drinks.
Cozzy and Looking for Ella Brandy.
So you're thinking if you're writing a movie, an Australian comedy now, you're not writing it about the downtrodden Aussie battler in the suburbs?
Well, I also think what hasn't endured is the Aussie film industry. No, seriously. Like... I don't think we do Aussie films. I think what Film Australia do now is pay Baz Luhrmann to fill Elvis here.
Yeah, okay.
Like, they don't pay PJ Hogan to make Mental 2 or Muriel's Wedding 2.
Yeah.
They pay Baz Luhrmann or the Wachowskis to film The Matrix here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The Australian film industry is fucked. The only thing doing original Aussie movies that I have noticed is Stan. Like that new one with Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
That has a title that doesn't seem to have anything to do with Transfusion, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with the fact that he's come back from war. He's come back from battling,
We need a blood transfusion.
Yeah, probably.
But that's all I hear. When I hear transfusion, blood transfusion.
Just blood transfusion.
That's
and
all
maybe he does need a blood transfusion after being in Avatar, in that, whatever that world's called. The Na'vi. After being a Na'vi for so long.
What's it called?
He needs a blood... Pandora.
Pandora.
The little fucking silver charms.
Yeah. Unobtainium.
How has James Cameron not sued the little silver charm company?
Well, or vice versa.
Enough tangents. Fuck, we're going on way too long. Yeah,
Endurance, I'm giving it 2.
Endurance, the Aussie film industry has not endured. I'm giving it a 2. What stood out to me as well is that they are in a large coastal town and there's only 3 high-rise apartment buildings. If you go to Surfers now, there is high-rise apartment buildings right from the border,
but it's not
all the way up to Brisbane. But like Surfers was a bit more like not Surfers, but the suburbs of the Gold Coast were a bit more like this in the 90s than they are now. But now they're all high-rises.
All right.
Nostalgia. Tony Collette, Rachel Griffiths, Bill Hunter, Sophie Lee.
Half the cast of people that are criminals on Blue Heelers.
Barry Crocker.
Barry Crocker was mad nostalgia. Video stores.
Video stores.
Those photo albums where you put it and the sticky thing and you peel the sticky thing out, then put your photos down and put it back on.
And then the pages stuck together too.
Yeah, and there was air bubbles in it. That's nostalgic. The movie does have some bit of nostalgia with it being an Aussie movie in the 90s.
Yeah, I have nostalgia for how Aussie life was in the 90s.
2.5.
3. There was, speaking
Now
of
we're
video
rushing.
stores nostalgia,
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day that was like, hey, this is what the Netflix blockbuster series should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that scene of Jack Black and Kate Winslet in The Holiday in a video store.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to make a series about Blockbuster, you need to make it about the nostalgia of spending an hour in a Blockbuster store trying to decide on a video.
Trying to agree on 2 new releases and
Yeah.
5 weeklies.
Because my friend Anna, our entire friendship, we've spent more time in Video Easy Williamstown than we did in any pub having dinner. Because we would go and have dinner and then we would spend an hour in Video Easy Williamstown trying to decide what movie to watch.
Yeah.
That's nostalgia. That's what Netflix Blockbuster should have been.
Okay.
Rather than seeing Amy Santiago work in a video store.
Okay. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, well, don't, because it only got about 3/4 of a season and the Netflix cancelled
Oh,
it.
wow.
Because no one liked it. Impact.
Impact. Look.
Yeah. We've
Yeah.
both written it. Tony and Rachel.
Done. 5. It then spawned a stage adaptation of Muriel's wedding. Obviously, I think that there's impact in your terrible Muriel being quotable.
Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
And you know how Australians love ABBA?
That's thanks to Molly.
Not thanks to Muriel's wedding.
No.
Okay.
Molly launched ABBA
That was my
in
plan.
Australia.
So you reckon he launched ABBA and not the Eurovision Song Contest?
No. They were in the Eurovision, but he is the one that brought them to Australia for Countdown.
Okay.
Because we weren't always in the Eurovision Song Contest.
But why? We're not in Europe.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Our love for Eurovision hasn't always been a thing. So we didn't discover ABBA because of Eurovision.
Oh, okay.
We discovered ABBA because of Molly, who now just randomly gets drunk and gets his ass out on stage at Amy Park.
Oh, he's got a brain injury. I thought he was dead.
Was that before or after you saw his ass on the stage?
No, before.
at
Like,
Elton
I
John?
saw him and I was like, I thought Molly died years ago, but he had an accident and didn't die. I thought he
had a
fell.
fall.
I thought he fell off a ladder and died.
No, he had a fall and had a dream sequence that they made into a Samuel Johnson movie.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm giving the impact of Muriel's wedding a 5.
Uh,
Solely because it launched Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths.
I'll give it a 4.5.
Okay.
Same reason, but Tony Collette and Rachel Griffith, as good as they are, they're not Nicole Kidman or Margot Robbie.
I find it hard to believe that 5 years after this movie came out, Tony Collette was doing The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, and Rachel Griffith was on 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Less than 5 years, probably.
Like, yeah. Crazy. Crazy to me.
She's very good, Rachel Griffith.
Tony
Total
Collette
Control. If you haven't
has
watched
had a
Total
very good
Control,
career.
Rachel Griffith and Deborah Mailman are incredible.
Yeah.
William McInnes plays the opposition leader of the Labor Party. He's very good too. And he gets really into that. You know, occasionally in Blue Heelers, he'd have that really deep voice. And
Yes.
that's his whole character. And his voice is so good in it. Rewatchability. Look, I don't know if I will.
Yeah,
I don't know if I thought this was a great movie.
It's interesting.
I feel like PJ Hogan was like, I want to make a comedy, but I don't want to make it a comedy. So why don't we make this girl in a wheelchair? Why don't we put cancer in there?
Why don't we make the mum kill herself?
Yeah, I feel like if he'd gone full serious,
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
Because we know Tony Collette, Rachel Griffiths can do that.
Yeah.
But we also know that Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths can do funny. Just flat out funny.
I think that the balance of, this is probably more about overall, the balance of quirky Australian comedy and serious plot lines
Yep.
didn't marry up, no pun intended, and then
Well, even she didn't marry up.
chuck a
in the
wedding
end.
in there.
Yeah.
I actually think this whole story of Aussie battler weirdo girl has no friends, loves ABBA could have been done, but then finds herself, works it out. Could have been done without it having a wedding in there.
No, but there could have been the wedding in there. But
But earlier?
I thought it would build up to a wedding happy ending.
Yeah.
If they
Nope.
called it You're Terrible, Muriel,
Yeah.
totally different view of the movie.
Yeah, but then I was like, where's the fucking wedding? Got an hour in before we even saw the guy she married.
Yeah, I thought it was leading up to a happy ending wedding, where it's like Muriel's wedding is like a little
Yeah.
bit in
Mira's
it.
wedding, she gets married that same night. Mum dies.
Yep.
Or the next day, whatever.
Who knows?
Then 2 days later, she sleeps with him and just goes, nah, don't want to be married to you anymore.
And
Do
he's
you love me?
okay
I
with
thought-
that?
I thought you'd be around.
Thought you'd be fun
You
to
can
hang
keep
around.
the money. Okay, thanks.
And then she gives half the money to Dad, which she shouldn't because he's an arsehole.
Yeah.
But I suppose she
But
wants
part
to
of
look
it was
after the
like,
siblings.
Just piss off.
She
Just
wants
get
to
away
look
from
after
me,
the
Dad.
siblings too, I guess.
Yeah.
Rewatchability, I'm going to give it a 2,
Yeah.
which I feel bad because I know it's iconic and people will hate me for it.
I'll give it a 2.5.
because it's fucking Muriel's wedding. But 2. I don't think I'll jump out to rewatch. There's a
2. Yeah,
There's
I'm
a,
giving it a 2 as well.
if you said, let's watch an Aussie comedy,
Yeah.
there's a number of movies on the list before. Castle, Cosy, Dish, Strictly Ballroom even ahead of this.
Yeah.
Mad Max, Mad
Priscilla.
Max Furiosa, which they're going to count as Australian because it's George.
Priscilla.
Happy
Babe.
Feet, Moulin
Babe.
Rouge.
Pig in the City.
Babe, Pig in the City. Wow, Magda Szubanski.
That one with the owls. Haven't seen it. Happy Feet. That's Australian.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, good.
The one with the owls.
Some animated thing about owls. Anyway. moving on.
Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Overall.
Overall, I think we've said everything, but I still think that you could write it and not make it call. Don't call it Muriel's wedding.
Make it You're Terrible, Muriel.
Make it Muriel Heslop, Porpoise Spit. Call it. I don't know.
Yep.
You know.
I do feel like the story would have had a lot more impact if he'd not tried to put little funny bits in it.
Funny bits, funny people, funny lines. Mum kills herself. Dad's an asshole.
I think if you made the movie of Muriel and Rhonda, the story
Yeah.
of Muriel and Rhonda, wrote it as a drama, and I think dramedy wasn't a genre in the 90s,
No.
right? It was, but it wasn't named like it is now.
Yeah.
If you made a drama but wrote it as an Australian, there would be funny in there.
Yeah, you write a drama with funny bits in it.
Yeah, rather than this seemed like...
A comedy, not a comedy with serious bits in it.
But also the serious bits were very serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like cancer of the spine.
Cancer so you can't walk and
Suicide?
someone killed herself.
That's very serious
Yeah.
stuff. But also, because they didn't do enough serious, we didn't really get deep into how sad Muriel is as a character.
No. But then also, it was this thing of having the main character just so obsessed with getting married. Not finding love.
Yeah.
Getting married.
They could have gone deeper into that.
Not finding love or getting acceptance or having genuine friends. Just getting married.
But she does say one line of like, I see people getting married and it means they're normal and good.
Yeah.
That why can't that be me? That's an acceptance thing, but it's one line in a change room while she's crying.
And that in the change room, she's having this crying scene, and then, you know, Rhonda's in her wheelchair going, and then the people that work there come in and go to her, have you just come out of a coma?
Yeah, yeah.
That's when you don't need that little funny line.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 2.
I'm going to give it a 2.25.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
You can total up the scores while we have a little break, and then we'll be back with some Google reviews.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
2 Drink Cinema!
All right. What is the score on the Archie Q De Niro scale for Muriel's wedding? If you would like to score your own versions of these films, then you can get a scorecard by contacting us on the socials at 2 Drink Cinema. If you would like to preview them early and contribute your scores, then buymeacoffee.com/2 Drink Cinema, and members get to give us their input. But what is our input on the score?
Our input on the score is surprisingly a 50.75.
Oh.
So it's in our top 10.
In the bell curve, like I know it's out of 100, but the bell curve is not near the 100 end.
No, it's probably more near the
40.
38.
It's above average,
Yeah.
as well as being above
so
50.
It's in between Tootsie and Juno.
Are we saying Muriel's Wedding is better than Tootsie?
We are saying it's better than Tootsie, Casablanca,
Wow.
Fatal Attraction.
It's definitely better than
Not
Flubber.
as good as Juno. Very close, though.
Oh, Juno's good.
Anyway.
Similar vibe. Little
Yeah.
indie.
Little weirdy, quirky people.
Yeah. Can imagine Michael Cera in Porpoise Spit.
Can't imagine Jason Bateman there. Anyway.
No, he'd be in Sydney renting videos
Yep.
and talking to Tony Collette about videos as long as Tony Collette was 16.
Ooh, awkward.
Oh.
Wow, that went there.
Let's do some Google reviews. You first.
Oh, 1-starers. If there was an award for the most disappointing movie, this movie would be the name of it.
Oh.
It is completely wrong to call this a comedy, as I did not even let out a smile while watching this. It is so overrated and overpraised. Muriel had no character development, and Rhonda became such a downer. Well, she's fucking got cancer and can't walk. Jesus, Rose.
How dare you make me feel things, Rhonda?
It also became so dark when it was supposed to be a comedy. I was extremely disappointed. If you like sad and quite frankly annoying movies, then this is the movie for you. If not, I suggest you never watch this in your entire life. I wish I could give this movie a 0, but I can't, so here. This is not a fact. This is just my opinion, and I am sorry if I offend you, but here it is.
Little disclaimer at the end.
There you go.
5
I
stars.
feel like this Rose person does a lot of reviews and copy and paste that.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a fact.
This is not a fact. Rose also doesn't understand that there's a dramedy.
There's a balance. You don't have to be full serious. You don't have to be Schindler's List or a funny movie.
Yeah, Schindler's List or Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
You can have
you
in between.
can have in betweens.
Like even Ted has a serious moment
does.
in it.
He
When his
really
little
does.
gets
He
his little
does.
stuffings come out.
And then it comes back and then...
All right, 5. A lot of the 5 stars were short.
Yeah, okay.
So I've actually done 4.
Ooh.
Here's the first of them. Australian humour, spelt without a U. So
Well, you're
first
out.
issue. Love this movie. Life should be as good as an ABBA song. If it's not for you, then make it happen in your way. I have. Listening to ABBA always makes me feel good. Of course, it goes well beyond that. Whatever makes you feel great and drives you, pursue it and enjoy the ride. What about the movie? That's the review.
If it's not for you, then make it happen in your way. Is that about the movie or ABBA?
No, if your life... life should be as good
Yeah.
as an ABBA song. If it's
your
not...
life isn't?
If
Yeah.
your life's not as good as an ABBA song, make it.
Okay.
I did.
Right.
But I don't know what this
No.
person thinks about the movie, though.
Not idea. Australian humour. She just mentioned it. She didn't say if she liked it or... Well, she said
And
love
then
this
love
movie.
this movie.
I don't know why I'm assuming it's a she. Maybe because they like ABBA.
Australian humour, love this movie, is actually the whole movie review.
Yeah.
The rest is just
It's
like...
about ABBA and how
self-help
empowering
book.
ABBA can be.
Yeah.
Well, Mary,
Yep.
this film just landed on Amazon, so I gave it a whirl. I do like Tony Collette. What a disappointment. I failed to find a single likable character.
Ooh.
They were low-life, overdrawn, and tedious. They're meant to be low-life. The plotline was predictable and vacant.
It wasn't predictable.
All this to the incredibly obnoxious ABBA soundtrack. Horrible. Choose the root canal over viewing this film. At least you will have something positive done.
No, predictable. I can guarantee you that not a single person that has watched this movie for the first time expected Rachel Griffiths to
Yep.
be fucked so hard she couldn't walk.
Yep. Nobody expected that.
Nobody expected
That's
that.
not what happened, but sure.
That's funnier than what did
It's
happen.
this and this. It's fucked so hard and couldn't walk, but not. That's not the cause and effect.
Yeah. That's, what do they say? It's correlation, not causality.
There you go.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the Matrix. I've got 2 now.
Cool.
Because they're short.
Great.
I love this movie. I watched it at least 5 or 6 times. A classic tale of the underdog who prevails with the help of ABBA.
Great.
Classic. Like, that goes right back to Shakespearean times.
Yeah.
An underdog that prevails with the help of a
With the help of
Eurovision
ABBA.
artist.
Great.
And another one. Although this movie is a bit aged now, I watched it quite a few times. It's absolutely entertaining and a lot of fun. Also, I happen to love ABBA. Wildly loved in America as well.
ABBA or the movie?
I don't know.
I would say that there seems to be a correlation between people who like ABBA and like this movie. If you don't like ABBA, you're not going to like this movie. If you like ABBA, you'll like this movie.
Yeah,
That's
I felt
the
like
reviews
Dancing
I'm
Queen
getting.
was in a little bit too much. But I like ABBA.
I like when they did their little number to Waterloo. That was fun.
Classic. It's
Yeah.
interesting that we got a whole ABBA song in Muriel's wedding, but we only got one whole Whitney Houston song in the Whitney Houston biopic.
Moving on. Joy. This is a horrible movie.
Ooh.
I get the lesson it's trying to promote, but oh my God. Muriel is a horrible person, relying her happiness on being married. She's very shallow, incredibly selfish, and very bad friend, and a backstabber to her family.
Oh.
Such an awful person. Unfortunately, there are many young women like her. I
It's
never
taken a
thought I
turn.
would see a movie based on these women and go beyond being a mediocre bad to an awful bad. Not only is Muriel horrible, her father, her siblings, and other people surrounding her are horrid. I genuinely bad for Muriel's mother and her friend Rhonda. Both are victims of the actions of these horrible people. They both deserved better. I don't care that she came to her senses at the end. She and everyone else are awful. I can't with this movie. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't believe that Muriel gave Rhonda cancer.
Awful. What an awful person.
Oh,
But that's the point of the movie,
Yeah.
is that the people around Muriel are awful and she comes to her senses and leaves them.
yep.
But Joy, I don't care that she came to her senses and left the awful people. The people are awful.
Yep. Yeah, the people are awful, but I don't care that she got away from them.
My one is written by a wanker.
Oh, God.
Great film, full of fun and pathos.
I hate the word pathos. Fucking hell. Was that the guy that wrote that same review for Call Me By Your Name?
No, because he didn't.
literary degree.
Yeah, no, I know it's not him because he didn't mention that he has a
he's got
literary degree.
degree and he's gay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Great film, full of fun and pathos. Thanks, Margaret Pomerantz.
Oh.
What are we doing next? Okay, we got 2 trivias because we've just released our first bonus members-only movie review
Yep.
on buymeacoffee.com/2drinkcinema.
Yep.
And you are going to do a synonym
Yes.
for that.
Yeah. It's Paul McCartney fruit drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'll be on the socials if you want to write down your guesses.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen is the first comment's going to be right. That's what always things happens
Yeah.
with trivia. Is like the
Yeah.
first comment is right, and then everyone else is like, "Well, he's got it, so I don't have to."
Yeah.
But go and read it anyway.
Yeah,
and
still
give it a
like
little
it.
like it because
I just came up with that then. That's pretty
algorithm.
smart.
I'm going to vaguely describe one scene from the next movie we're doing on the main feed.
Okay.
It's the one where the kid fakes his drowning so that he can be given mouth-to-mouth resuscitation by the hot lifeguard girl. It's a sports movie.
Oh.
That's my other clue.
Why did I just think of Little Rascals?
Oh,
But
okay.
not.
Well,
Interesting.
it's not Little Rascals.
I'm blanked.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can get on the socials and
There you
guess
go.
if
Yeah.
you'd like to. That'll be #Tuesday Trivia, but I'll spell it Tuesday, not Tuesday.
Tuesday Trivia.
Tuesday Trivia.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to another episode of 2 Drink Cinema. That has been our review of Muriel or Muriel's Wedding or Your Terrible Muriel,
Yeah.
Thank you. If you'd like to subscribe, hit subscribe in the YouTube or in the podcast platform that you're listening to. Give us a rating and review. Tell your friends. All of that helps us to be found by more people. If you'd like to support us in another way, 2drinkcinema.com. No, that's not right. buymeacoffee.com/2drinkcinema is how you can go and support us further and get your bonus episodes and your bonus content and your all other bits and pieces, including buying our merch.
Yeah. We got
Stubby
merch.
holders, T-shirts are coming too.
Good.
Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for listening to this episode of 2 Drink Cinema. Make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss any future episodes.
Please share this episode with a friend and leave a rating and review. It goes a long way to help us reach a bigger audience.
This show is produced by Two Brothers Entertainment on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging.
Follow us on all your social platforms and join our Facebook group to connect with us. Thanks for listening, happy watching, and please drink responsibly.